Hey, I'll be live in just a second. If you're joining me from my newsletter or whatever, feel free to say hey. Hey, Rhoda. Happy to see you today. Just going to make sure that I'm streaming on everything and also I'm not on mute. Good grief. Oh my gosh. It was crazy the last couple days with all my technical problems. Hey, David. Happy to see you. We're going to keep this live stream pretty short today. I have so many like files to catch up on and everything. It's crazy. Oh, glad that you got to join. I know, serious. Maybe the earlier times is better. I'm not sure. It could be good. Hey, Elena, great to see you. Okay, let me pop on my screen. All right. Oh my gosh, and please, please, for the love of all things, tell me if my internet or my sound gets a little funky today, but it should be okay because I don't hear any construction, but oh my gosh, if the construction starts, it's crazy. Hey, Jody. Good to see you. Glad to catch some of my peeps. So I was going to share some sample that Creatology Maurilius shared on Instagram. And I love when you guys like send me things or tag me on stuff. It's so cute to see what you guys do with the brushes. Hey, Maurilius, I'm going to give you a shout out. Yes, oh my gosh. I love your little animals. They're so cute. So Maurilius shared these on Instagram and she used the feathery brushes. Oh, by the way, if you have anything to pop on or add, feel free. But this one was a little kitty cat. I thought that was so cute, and I think that the feathery brushes would be really nice for drawing the animals. And let's see the next one. This emu, you said that this was glitch core, which is funny because I'm curious, even if that's glitch core, which I think you said it was, but that even looks like the feathery brush. That's crazy. But some of the glitch core ones are quite feathery. But I think that's so, so cute with a little hat. And then this owl, this totally makes me think of Starry Night. I like what you did. I'm curious if you used like, it looks softer here. I don't know if you used any smudging or if you just maybe used like a different color palette, but I love that. Owl as well. I love all the puns and everything. And then this llama is too cute. So anyway, seriously, you guys, if you have anything, send them to me. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going to share this on my Instagram story. So that's super cool. So I was going to talk about like how I made the graphic alphabets, in particular, how I made these graphic alphabets for the Holiday Fun Font Factory. And sometimes, and it's an interesting little like origin story. So it's funny because they all started with these Christmas graphics, these like kind of holiday greenery illustrations that I did. And I did these like, this is one of like honestly my first forays into illustration. I mean, at all, because before this, I think I created these like on September. I looked back, I think this was like launched on September 2015. And if you guys are familiar with me, my big break sort of was Instagram, and that was, I want to say, October of 2014. And I've been growing along with, as I've been developing these products to help myself in my own projects, then my illustration skills have been developing as well. And it's just crazy to see the journey that I've come along. But then sometimes things that I created a long time ago where I don't think it was especially skilled or anything, they're still useful and I still use them in projects like years later. So it's quite interesting. Hold on one second. I'm trying to remember to drink some water. I'm super thirsty, but yeah, so you can take a little like sneak peek at these illustrations that I created. So they were really simple, But sometimes, you know, you can build on your really simple things and create some cool stuff. And these ones, well, it looks like I had already created my 24 karat gold layer styles because I'm using them on there. But down here you can see a bit more of the base graphics that I created. And then this was one of the first times that I was using the Adobe Illustrator image brushes. So what I would do was I would just draw one leaf like this, like one piece of greenery straight, and then I'd turn it into an image brush, and then I'd brush that in different directions and create all these different graphics. So that's like the way of saving time, being efficient. And the graphics themselves are really simple. I mean, as you can see, like not much skill was needed to create them. You know, I just super basic, but they formed the building blocks later on of like things that I created. So, and this was before I even started creating brushes. It's crazy. It's fun to like look back. And then what I did was I turned them into art brushes and pattern brushes for Illustrator, which I actually didn't end up, I kept those for myself. I ended up not releasing those till much later. And I actually released these like last out of all three of these products. Because first I used them to create the alphabets here. And then finally, after I created the alphabets, I'm like, oh, fine, let me just put these brushes out there because I had already created them for myself. And I was like, before I was kind of keeping things, you know, for myself more and, you know, my little tricks up my sleeve. And now I'm just like, no, 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 I have to share all of my, my tips and tricks and all this stuff. So then I put these Illustrator brushes out and I use them to create this, the alphabets and then plus all the little accents and stuff. So we're going to go into that. But it's funny because the illustrations that I made were so simple and I created them like a million years ago. I mean, well, 2015, so that's 7. Anyway, so yeah, that's wild. And then, so I use these very same brushes to create this product, which is the Holiday Fun Font Factory. And it was like graphic alphabets, which by the way, I ended up not turning this into like an actual font because now you can have those SVG graphic fonts. But I did create like the graphic alphabets that you can put together to make your own words or monograms or things like that. So that is kind of like what I was going to show you behind the scenes of today. And you can use it to create your own like graphic alphabets and kind of, you know, work Photoshop and Illustrator in together. But that was really good. Like, so I made, you know, these sort of shapes, paths of the letters, and then I applied those image brushes and created alphabets. And so it looks, you know, quite complicated, but really you're just building up the steps and then, you know, like letting your working smarter, not harder, and like letting the image brushes do the work. So I did all these different, well, essentially I did a script font and I did a sans serif. So just two simple, you know, fonts, but then I applied those image brushes and created all the different fonts. And honestly, this product, it's funny because sometimes you'll put a product out and you think, oh my gosh, this is so useful. It's so amazing. Everybody's going to love it. And it kind of falls a little flat. Like this one didn't really sell like honestly like I thought it would back in the day, but it's still really valuable and great for holiday things, great for lettering. I think it's a little bit evergreen to like put a pun on it, but pun intended. But you can do some really cool things. Like for example, in this, you're layering some of the greenery alphabets on top of each other, and then I created all of this like little all these like little ornaments and things, and then you could decorate it so you can drop in, you know, whatever. And I made it for people that to use in any program, so it doesn't matter what program you have. It's like ping files, PSD files, whatever. And so I made it really with the end user in mind to be like the easiest as possible. And so I'm going to kind of show you behind the scenes of that, like how I always thought about the end user and how I can make, like when I'm making a product for them, how I can make it most valuable and also make their lives super easy, which means more work for me doing it one time, but that means that the people that buy my product can have the best experience with it. You know, you have to, rather than like just a whole big file of ping files and they got to go search for things, I think, oh, how can I make this absolutely easy peasy? Oh, thank you so much, Reverb Mike. Or I'm just gonna call you Mike. I don't know. I call you Reverb Mike, but yeah, it was funny. And I made all these little ornaments. So I'm gonna show you a sneak peek behind those, and they're really quite simple, honestly. It I did not take honestly a lot of quite skill. I just kind of had to have the vision. And here's an example. So as you can see, you know, the shape of this S that I created is the same, but then it's got like 3 different brushes applied to it. And then I add little accents. So, you know, rather, so you can, you know, just do it your way and add the little, you know, drop in the accents, create some little ornaments and create some cool stuff. So I was like really happy with this, to be honest. And what I might do actually, now that they have that font self software, maybe I just didn't want to mess with it at the time, but maybe I'll turn it into an actual SVG font. So this is something I could do, you know. But here's an example of like the graphic alphabet, which is just really simple, and then just different ways that, you know, you could apply it. Or, you know, you're taking the same like letter B in the same graphic style, but you know, you can put a color overlay and have a pink vibe. You know, you can have it on a white background. You can have it, you know, with this kind of like pastel colors with those little ornaments here. So, you know, there's lots of different ways. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Avesh. That's super sweet. And yeah, and then I had like one click layer style. So I had some drop shadows and all this. So lots of stuff we can do with this. So let's just kind of get into it. So this is really behind the scenes of like showing how you can do this and how easy it can be. It looks like a bit, you know, maybe much. And I'm going to have, after I finish my live stream, I'm going to have some special resources for my Behance subscribers. And so I think you will like that. So let us go into Illustrator, and I'm going to show you the brushes. So here I've got all of the image brushes, and now these are not vector. These are, like I showed yesterday in my live stream, this is me dropping in these images and creating these brushes. And so I've got the art brushes, which don't repeat. And then I have the pattern brushes, which do repeat. These are mainly like the ones that I used on this, on these letters. So let's just peek in on them. And as you can see, they're very simple. Like now I think I could make something really cooler, more, I don't know, more dimensional, more whatever. But I still like these, you know, and I made these like 7 years ago. So what have you. So these are all the different brushes. And what's cool is maybe on another live stream, I'll show you like kind of how I made the pattern brushes, but it wasn't really that complicated. And yeah, like you just have to play around with them a little bit, but I kind of created these like rectangle shapes and then laid the what do you call it, the pieces inside that rectangle shape, and then that rectangle repeats. And maybe it took a little bit of like finessing and stuff, but really it's pretty simple. And the like these brushes, the ones that have like the I don't know what I call these, like the border brushes, are really nice. And of course they're using like the same pieces from the other stuff, but you can make like a frame like this, just a simple square frame, and add these pattern brushes to it. Oof, that's way too big size of the, there we go. And now you've got this cool Christmas frame that you can use, and it's all filled in and it looks quite cool, you know? So those are really useful. And that's how I created all those graphics, like ready-made graphic frames and stuff, because I was thinking about the people that weren't using all the programs. So when I made that alphabet, I wanted them to be them to be able to be used in any program, like say even they could be used in Procreate, Photoshop, whatever. So here is a sample of the alphabet that I made. And so I created these paths of a really simple, basic alphabet. I'm sure that I used like a, gosh, like a free font or something, like a system font or whatever, kind of as my guide. And then so I created these paths, and then all I did to create the whole alphabet was I just put a different brush stroke on it. And then sometimes I had to tweak them because some of the brushes weren't exactly the same size. And I made an artboard for each letter. And also this project was like a definite an effort in, I want to say, automation, templating. It was crazy creating this, honestly. It took me loads of time because what I had to do, I was always thinking, doing this as a template. So once I do a workflow for one alphabet, then I can do the same thing for the next alphabet, the next graphic style. So like what I did was I set up these separate artboards. I exported these as pings. I think that I didn't have them cropped. I had the ping size like the same size as the artboard so that I could also load them up into Photoshop, um, into like the same template file, and I'll show you that later. So I really had to use my noggin, by the way. Like I really had to think ahead. But then, sometimes like once you create a template, then you can just knock them out. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did with these. Still took me loads of time. Let me just pop into Photoshop here. So here's the Photoshop file. And hopefully some of these files are super big and hopefully I don't run out of RAM. But so let's see here. Let me just select it. I'm just curious. Yeah. So let me select the letter A. I'm going to hit Command T, free transform. So as you can see, when I exported this ping file, I exported it as a, like all of them had a universal size so that I could, place them exactly in the same place. So I drag and dropped all of those ping files into a Photoshop document, linking those files, they're smart objects. And then when I made the next alphabet, then I could just relink the files to the other alphabet and it's already like lined up. So lots of thinking ahead. But what I'll do, what I wanted to do for my subscribers, both Behance and Patreon, is I'll give you this demo file so that you can play with, and you've got all of the letters, written out, and you can make your own graphic, what do you call it, image brushes if you want, and try to, make your own alphabet or whatever. Just don't sell it as an alphabet if you're make your own paths, because that would be kind of a competing product, but you can have the demo file so that for learning, And so here you've got all of the alphabet with the image brushes, the pattern brushes applied. And I tried to do like all of the main sort of glyphs. I don't know if that's what they're called, punctuation, all of this. Although for the most part, I think most of this is going to be, like if you're making an image with this graphic font, it's going to be something kind of big. So it's not like it's going to be paragraph text or anything. It's going to be like more headline. But yeah, let me just zoom in here and I'm just going to show you how you can change it. So this is my letter B here. And now I can just put a basic brush on this. And here you see the paths that I made. So they're not even that perfect. They're not, connecting. They're all separate, whatever. So I've got that path, and now I can put like a different image brush. Now, as you can see, this is when I put that image brush, it doesn't look very good. So that means I need to take the size down. And you know, pick a size that's good. So there's like 0.25. And with each alphabet, I might need to tweak some letters a little bit. So like what I would do is if, say, I wanted this to go up, I could go here, just like select that point. Is that a point selection tool? And then pull it up a little bit. So I can, you know, change it a little bit with each letter, but my idea was not to have something that will work with all of them. So I've got that's one of them. So I could just flip through, change my brush. Some of them have a little thing like that, but that's okay. I don't mind. And so you can see how easy it is to make these different graphic fonts. Sometimes if it's bigger like this, you might need to like take the size down. Got that. This one gets a little crazy here. Might have to take it like to, you know, 0.25, and sometimes you have to adjust, you know, each one you might have to adjust it depending on how that brush, you know, was created. But the bulk of it's easy to change the, you know, to change the image brush, and you've got a different font. So it's quite cool. You can, you know, I think it's quite nice. So yeah, that is the main part of it. Let me just undo. So that's just how easy it is. So after I finish, then what I'll do is I'll put these, this as a demo file for all my subscribers. So that'll be fun. And here, for example, is my script. And so this one, just kind of a basic, simple script. And the main thing is like, gosh, I tried to keep them all in the same size, although with the J. Okay, if I was doing these for maybe like if I wanted to actually make a font of it, I would probably need to make sure that the artboards are all exactly the same size. But since I didn't, I just had some of the artboards be different sizes. But I drew out this script and made sure that, you know, it could connect and everything. And so that was my big script font so far. But the same thing, you can just change out the graphic style, or not graphic style, sorry, the image brush. And I had also, if you saw yesterday's stream, I played a little bit with this, well, not a pattern brush like this, but I did work with like a monogram, and showing you how you can use these image brushes, which it's funny because mainly I work in Photoshop, but I find that the Illustrator image brushes are like super amazing. So for my subscribers, I will get these two for you for the demo files. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in or whatever if I'm going a bit fast. But, you know, even though I'm a Photoshop girl, this week I've been kind of banging on about Illustrator image brushes. Hold on one second. I have to decline a call. I'm so popular. Anyway, but you know, because they can work in tandem together. But like I said, I don't really do a lot of vector work. This is like dropping my images in there and using them as a brush, which is super cool. So that was kind of the main thing that I wanted to go over. Oh, and I also was going to show you a little bit about how I made the ornaments for these. And so now let's just go back through. This is my font or my fonts. It's really like a graphic pack. Ooh, one thing that I will show you too, and I should pump this up actually for kind of promote this for this holiday season, because the good thing is you know, I made this into a product. I did the energy once, but it can still be good for next Christmas, whatever. So one of the kind of clever things that I did, because I was always trying to think of like the end user and how to make their lives easier, is I made this word builder PSD, and I created even a set of actions so that it makes it easier for you to build a word with these graphic letters that I made. And so I yeah, so I thought really hard about it. So basically, for each sort of alphabet that I created, um, I created like a demo or a PSD like this master one, so that this way, if they're working in Photoshop, or even I think if they were working in Procreate, they could use the same file. But this is um, a master file. It's got the ping embedded as a smart object, and then it's resized down so that the size of the file is not too big, but it does have the full size graphic. And that way they could take whatever like letter, hello, my selection not working? Okay, letter, and drag and drop it into their file. So, they could take the A, drag and drop it, and then take also like open up my ornaments file and then drag and drop that on there, and then also like add the layer styles, the drop shadows, all of that. So I try to think of like how to make it super, super, super easy. And the next thing that I did was like, okay, well, what if they want to make a word or a couple words? So then I created these actions, and then this word builder file, and gosh, you can barely see it. It's super faint, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've kind of got these like little areas for letters. And so say if I want to build a word, I go over to my master file and I select um, a letter. So in this case, I will select the letter F, and I'm selecting it with my selection tool, just touching it. Okay. So I'm touching it and I have select that layer. Now, if I use my actions, I have to have my word builder file open, by the way. So then if I go to my actions and I click letter 1, I'll click play, and it copies that layer over into the spot of letter 1 in my word builder document. And that way it can make it really easier for them. So these rather like I could have just made this into a font, but I just didn't want to go there yet. But this is going to be mainly for what do you call it? It's going to be mainly for headlines, big letters. So this just makes it really easy for them to drag and drop it. So I'm just going to show you that. Hey Patricia, I'm super happy to see you here. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so I'm going to write the word font. So now I'm going to just tap on the letter O, and I'll put letter 2. I'll hit play. I'm going to click on letter N. I'm going to go letter 3. I'm going to hit play. And then I'm going to go to the T, and I'm going to click letter 4, and I'm going to hit play. And so now it dropped them into the general area. So of course, it's not going to be perfect, and you're going to need to fiddle with it, but it's all about making things easier for my customer, or whoever's using my resources. And I think that that's like really important to do. Like that's something that's important for me for all my products. They don't just look good. I want to make the most value and also make the user experience very easy. But now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, I think that especially with the non-script font, I think I could probably fiddle around and drop this into font self and make an actual like graphic font of it. But then there you've got like the little word, and you can drag it into your document or whatever, expand it. Because it's a smart object, it will uh you know enlarge and everything. Oh yeah, there will be a replay, Patricia, definitely. So don't worry about it. The only thing is the live stream disappears after I'm finished for like 1 hour to process, and then it'll be back up. So, and all the replays of my live streams is in my Behance live streams page. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Maurilius. Yeah, I thought I would do something different today. Like, kind of show you guys behind the scenes. And you guys, and you don't have to make a holiday font. You could make a flowery font or any kind of graphic font that you want, with these same principles of creating for yourself a, what do you call it, a path, essentially, like this, and then applying the pattern brush to it. And one cool thing that Illustrator is coming out with um, soon, that's supposed to be, I don't know, upcoming or whatever, is that you can actually type in a regular font and it will like, you can take any font like this soon. Sorry, like just a font and basically do the same thing, but you won't have to draw the path. So Illustrator is working with some like AI, or they've got that in the pipeline so that you could take that font and do the same thing, apply essentially a brush to the font and create a new, whatever. So that's cool, but that's not here yet. So anyway. And then the last thing that I was going to show you is all of these like little ornaments that I made. They were really cute, and it's nice because I think they look really nice, but most of them were very simple to create. And so I'm going to um, give you a little preview uh, really quick here and kind of I don't have all the stuff handy to show you, but I'm gonna tell you how I made all of these little things. And you guys will probably um, you'll probably recognize some of like the brushes and stuff. So as you can see, these are really simple little ditties of a illustration. But because, they're meant to be like decorating these like monograms and these letterings, they didn't need to be super big or super detailed. So, thinking about what it's going to be in the end is, always good. But so these ones I used my wet paint brushes and just created very basic shapes and just drew those brush strokes. I love especially how this one turned out. This brush stroke here, like little separate kind of brush strokes using like a metallic color palette. And here I did a very basic little booty design. What do you call that? Stocking. And then just accented it with, I used a lot of Instaglam accents and creative couture, but more Instaglam actually. Just some little cute ribbons, some candy canes, which I think I did a tutorial on this, but it was a lot of clipping mask layers. So I would just make the shape, like you can see here, it's all the same shape. Make a shape, and then use that as a clipping mask to do my brush strokes over it in the wet brush strokes. So that's a way to with this whole collection, it was like kind of making a template and then making variations. So, working smarter, not harder. These ones I used a lot of the wet paint mixer brush, Wet Paint Studio. I used a lot of the ones with kind of rougher edges for these little snowflakes, and I used those image palettes that I had put included with those, which had like the, oh gosh, kind of an iridescence and stuff. Let me see if I can find my wet palettes on my libraries. Here we go. 2 seconds. I'm just going to show you real quick. Oh yeah, I used like these pearlescent image palettes. So I had, these are like images that got remixed. And so I used like some of these different ones like the blue, these, and you can really see that, on here, a little bit of a luminescence. So that was fun. Real simple shapes, just simple brush strokes. I probably looked at like, just looked at another snowflake illustration and just did my own version of it. But just by the fact of using that wet paint mixer brush, it made them really cute and dimensional and a little bit more exciting, Same thing for the baubles. So I just use clipping mask layers. And if you guys have a keen eye, you can probably see that I have I've applied some Instaglam layer styles on some of them. Some of them I just stroked it over with a wet paint brush, the metallic wet paint brush. Here I just did these soft sort of metallic, just a little bit of a circular motion with my brush. And then, then I'll put a couple strokes over here. These are nice because I created this set of ornaments and the outer shapes, and then I just did different bottoms of them. And so for this one, I just did gold strokes across them with a green and a red stroke. And then I just used my different accent brushes to create different variations. It was really easy. And I applied a Instaglam layer style there. So a little bit of that. And so as you can see, I've got the same shapes here, but just a different version. So this one I just did green, but I think it looks really cool. Here you can see I did like a wet brush stroke, but then I also did a little one of those accent brush strokes. And by the way, these little, hang on one second. I have brushes that come with this collection. What are they? Don't know if there is a set of brushes, but they're all these like little accent brushes. And I don't know what I saved them as. They're not fresh from the oven. But hold on, I put them, maybe they're on here. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, here's just some like kind of little chainy sort of little accent brushes. I forget what they're called, but they're included with the collection. So I also use them across on the little ornaments. Here was real simple. Is just did I applied to the clip, the background, I applied an Instaglam layer style, and then I just put some gold strokes across it. But when you put all this together, even though all of them are very simple illustrations, but then you build it up and it looks really cool. It can look really cool. I love these little stars. This one in particular, I just gold, just gold strokes to make a star mainly. And then here I accented in the center with some Instaglam. And then even I just made some simple little stars. So all of the same simple marks. Yeah, here I've got some of the pearlescent brush strokes mixed with some gold, and then I have Instaglam layer styles. So all different kinds of interesting things. I should hunt up the I couldn't find my original file where I created all of these. I did a little bit of a search, but I've got too many files. And here I really like how these turned out, this metallic sort of, what do you call this, a bow. And then I just put a little center and I added the Instaglam styles. But these I created like the metallic palettes that I had done, and then I just turned them into like with a red overlay or a green overlay to make that sort of that palette or whatever. So that is pretty it. But oh my gosh, look at all those ornaments. My Photoshop was like running out of RAM, so I had to flatten that file when I opened it, and then because it had so many like layers and stuff, and then just paste that onto a new document. But that's mainly it. And I want to go back to this so you can see some of the like layering up on these. Where is this? This is really nice. So you can see you've got the the letter here, the graphic letter, and then I've just dropped in some of these little accents to make that really cute holiday monogram. Like here too. So you can just drag and drop and create your own thing. Even this one, I have the main the main alphabet, and then I've added little accents to the letter. So I had some cuter ones somewhere, I think. These ones are pretty cute. So you can see dropping all the little greenery accents and dropping all the little stuff. But so it's interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up the live stream with that. And for the last 4 days, I have been telling all my blessed members, so sorry that I have not, I've been saying that I'm going to attach my PSD files, my demo files for my live stream, and the days just go by super fast. So I'm going to do that today because my live stream was early. And so I'm going to give a lot of like value for my subscribers, whether you're on Behance or Patreon. And I will be updating also my master PDF file to make things really easy for you to download all your resources. And I will give you guys these this demo file of all the scripts, you know, the font like the font lines or whatever, and you can play around with that for learning purposes and make your own graphic, apply your own brushes if you want. So that'll give you like a jump start to kind of like play with that if that's something that you want to do. And yeah, that's about it. It's 12:12, so it's a good time to stop. And thanks for everybody who dropped in from my list. Thank you guys so much for the support. It's amazing. It's been really challenging for me to do like these live streams almost every day, but it's been so much fun. And so I've kind of been Illustrator heavy for the last couple days. I'm doing some Illustrator Photoshop combos, but tomorrow my live stream, I want to say it's at 3:30, I'm pretty sure. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. Merry Christmas to you. Early Christmas. But you know, if you're doing anything for Christmas, like Christmas designs, Christmas whatever, you should probably be doing them now because people do their Christmas like I mean, it just depends if it's direct to consumer or whatever. If you're doing things for like Etsy, maybe it's not such a big deal, but yeah, people, you totally have to start thinking about Christmas designs or holiday designs like now. I mean, some people are doing things if they have to be printed like in the summertime. So yeah, it's definitely, it feels early, but it's not really. And if you guys make something inspired by this, please tag me or whatever. And also, uh, if you type in Creators Couture Insiders, that's the Insiders Facebook group. But I would love to have some suggestions on what you would like to see for a tutorial. So I am all ears, but I think tomorrow I'll get back to tomorrow I'm gonna get back to some Photoshop brushes and maybe, yes, we'll see what we have for tomorrow. Eric, you like the AI and PS combo? Yeah, well, for me, the only thing I really use in Illustrator is those image brushes, but it's so powerful and can just be so save you loads of time. So I've done that like the last few days, and I didn't really think about sharing that so much because I work so much in Photoshop. But yeah, take advantage of that. Even if, you know, every time I drop into Illustrator, I'm like, oh God, where are things? This is not Photoshop. This is weird. But it's really easy most of the time. Drag and drop, make a brush. It's so cool. And oh, I'm glad that it's something that you like, Patricia. So that's amazing. Okay, well, I'm going to bounce and thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting my live streams. It makes it so much more fun for me than just doing it on my own. And it's been pushing me, so loves it. And then please, you know, anywhere on social media, you can give me an idea on anything that you would like to see me demonstrate. So give me a shout. So, and Maurilius, I'm so glad that I got to see you on here since I know you're in India and it's super far away. All right, big hug, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.